Hi there everyone, Fabian again, and in this video we're actually going to be talking about what turned out to be a happy accident. Originally I had meant to work on a solution that would extend upon the video I did, I want to say maybe 2 or 3 days ago, where I mocked up emails, calendars, and tasks as files and used chat completion to read them in. And my prompt basically was something just very opaque, saying that, I'm at my end of day. I know I didn't finish everything. Please take a look and see what emails I may not have responded to, any task I didn't complete, and help me set up my agenda for the next day. And based on that prompt, it went out and it looked at all of these three elements. And it basically wrote new tasks for me for the next day based on tasks I didn't complete. It looked at emails I didn't complete and put something on my calendar. And it did all of that using chat completion and the LLM based on looking inside these files. What I wanted to do, the long-term plan, is actually to communicate with Microsoft Graph. And I wanted to do it where we're not writing code. And there's a couple ways that you can certainly do that. The way that we've done here today is by actually using an OpenAPI specification that's available to you. In fact, it would, what I'm using is this OpenAPI spec here for messages. And you can see that it is pointing to the Microsoft Graph endpoint. It has, and because it's a Microsoft spec, it has me.messages. It has a, where's the one for find read messages. It also has the ability to look at the different parameters, the different query strings that are required for it. It understands that it needs OAuth 2 in order to read a person's mailbox. So this is definitely going to authenticate, and I'm using device code authentication. In fact, if I come here and show you that, you can see here, yep, we're using device code authentication here. And we only have one scope right now, which is mail.read. This is just me testing something out. Obviously, what I will be doing later on is adding more OpenAPI specification here. And then what this does here, there's another function here that says, there it is, OpenAPI prompt execution. This is basically the new way of not doing planners in essence, and basically having once you load your all of the plugins, it basically tries to figure out which plugin to use, or which function to call, I should say, and synonymous of using the word functions for plugins. So it'll understand that there's a bunch of plugins. Based on the prompt, it'll figure out which one to use and put everything together. Right now there's only one, so it's only doing one. Also, what I found out in doing all of this is that typically I am always working on the Llama 3.1 70B model that's on my PC, which is self-hosted. This wouldn't work because function calling doesn't work against this local model, come to find out from the research that I've done. And the test that I did for that was immediately after changing this to GPT-4 and supplying my key, it just started to work. So what I would be doing here is creating more plugins here, which is basically going to read them in, and then it'll become available. And then down here where we see the what we saw before, where it was going to auto-invoke functions, it would just basically start to work. To test it, I was actually printing out my token so I could actually see my scope because of all of the errors that I was receiving before. We have max token of 5,000 because if you don't do that, based on the size of the email, it is going to try and pull all of that back and you're going to blow your token count. So by putting 5,000, it reasonably gives me back enough that I can actually play with. So enough of that. Let's go ahead and test this out. So we're going to do a dot, let's move this up so you can actually see more, .NET run. And here we actually see we're doing device code. We have our code right here, Control C. We come over to, not there, this side, and do this. Put our code here. You'll notice I'm logged in as Adel Vance here. Click on that there. And we will do sign in a minute. But notice Adel has these two emails here that are unread. And I'm going to do sign in. We'll take a look at it again. Don't worry, I know that was pretty fast. And we can see that we've successfully signed in. And if we come over back to here now, we can see that that prompt came in here. You can see remnants of the token that is there. And right now it's basically telling us that it launched the message plugin successfully, and it found these emails, one from Kaiser Sose, one from me, and it basically gives me some information here at the bottom. I think I'm just logging it twice. So if we come over to here, wrong place, and we look here, we can see that Adel does indeed have an email from Kaiser Sose saying that we need to go meet with Kobayashi and we need to send a proposal, and we already have this one here thanking Adel for being a tester for my demos moving forward. And that's exactly what you can actually see here again, prep for Kobayashi, and some information here. This sometime will come up with different things. Again, this is non-deterministic. It's just pulling information and it will determine. Notice basically the prompt basically says you be as concise as possible and the things that are important to me, which is the person, the sent, the subject, and so on and so forth. Mess with the prompt, it changes it a little bit. But as I said, the next thing that we're going to be doing is creating some more OpenAPI specification, having it figure out which exact one to call based on the utterance, and you'll just see more videos like that. Again, this is just ideas right now. You know, there's other things that we're working on and that we would like to get out there to make developers' life a lot simpler. This is just one example of it, and I want to feel the pain of it so that when I do speak to people, I can understand that's exactly what I'm building for. People come up with suggestions and say that we want to try this. I POC it. We see if it will work. So that's it for today. Hope you found this enjoyable, and leave any comments and feedback and let me know what you think about it. Thank you.